Good morning. Welcome to my channel. I'm Celeste and this is Celeste Creates. This is a FlossTube channel mostly about cross stitching, but also about some quilting. Thank you for joining me. This is my very first FlossTube. I was unsure whether I wanted to do a FlossTube for the longest time, but recently my son encouraged me to start a FlossTube and promised he'd help with the editing and getting it all loaded. So we'll see how it goes. I was thinking about why I wanted to do a FlossTube video, and really it's not because I'm the best stitcher. I'm not, or because I have any grand advice to share or to make a name for myself. That's not why I decided to do this. I decided to do this to hopefully give back the same sort of joy that I've experienced in watching FlossTube videos in the last months, especially during this time of the pandemic and the shutdown. It has brought a lot of joy. It brings a smile to my face every single time I get to watch one of my favorite FlossTube videos, and I really hope that in some small way that I can share that with all of you and give that same joy maybe back to the community. It's been enjoyable to feel like I'm meeting some new people and have a little bit of a connection during this time of isolation. So thank you for joining me here today. I hope I can bring a smile to your face. And so with that, I will tell you a little bit about myself. I live southeast of Houston on the way to Galveston. It is hot and sticky and humid here, but it's home. I've lived here all my life, probably not more than 10 miles from here as the crow flies, my entire life. I have 5 kids, 4 boys and 1 girl. My oldest is 19, my daughter is 17, and then the 3 boys after that are 15, 13, and 10. I have a golden doodle. And so if you hear noise in the background, that would be the 5 children and the golden doodle. I wasn't sure where I was going to film a FlossTube video or when, because there's usually noise in the house. I'd considered filming in my master bath because that's about the only place where it's quiet and secluded for any given length of time. But I'm not sure that that would have gotten me any subscriptions or likes. So here I am. This is my corner of our game room upstairs. It's not very big, maybe 10 by 6. This is where I sew and craft. Sometimes I stitch up here. It's my little space. Also from here, I can keep an eye on the kids while they do their school. We homeschool. My oldest has graduated and going to college. I'm not sure how that happened. I do enjoy homeschooling. It's not always easy, but I love it. And I love being with my kids and watching them learn, reading good books, and somehow we've made it this far. I love to quilt. I've been quilting probably for about maybe almost 19 years. I began quilting when my oldest son was 9 months old. I got a sewing machine for my birthday, and I probably got a book from the library and taught myself how to quilt. My mom had taught me how to sew probably back when I was 10, 11, 12. She was so talented, beautiful seamstress, made my sister's wedding dress, just amazing. She taught all of us, my sisters and I, how to make clothes, and so I didn't get real far. I didn't enjoy the clothes making process. I think I made a skirt. I'm not sure if I made anything else. It wasn't until maybe 5 or 6 years ago I realized I never made it to the zipper and buttonhole lesson on the machine, and had to teach myself how to do that. Thankfully, we have Google and YouTube now for those little lessons. But as far as sewing goes, my heart is really for quilting. I have made over 100 quilts. I machine quilt all my quilts on my machine. Someday I'd love to have a long arm, but that's probably way far in the future. About the time I began to learn how to sew, I think I also began cross stitching. Again, I didn't do very much. I made one small thing that I uncovered a few years ago and finished into a pillow for my daughter because honestly, it's such a memory. It's nothing special, but it is these sunbonnet babies. Wow, how late 80s, early 90s. It was funny recently because a friend I have saw this on my Instagram and she said, oh my goodness, I made a different sunbonnet baby pattern from the same leaflet all those years ago. So it's a memory for sure. I don't think I dated mine, but yeah. And probably right after that I began another piece, and honestly I think it took me at least 10 years to finish this piece. By then I was in junior high, high school. I know I worked on it during college as well, maybe in the summers on my time off, but it truly took me 10 years to finish. But I love it. It's beautiful. I had it framed. And it hangs outside my daughter's room as you come up the stairs. It was from a Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine, again, late 80s, maybe 90, 91, I'm not sure. So if that's the case, I would have started it probably junior high or early high school. So this is the piece. Sorry for some glare. Oop. I'll get this. Beautiful, really. All these 9 hearts. Again, a trip down memory lane. This is kind of the cross stitch I remember. The back stitch, just it's on some pretty purple Aida, which I didn't know existed, but somehow I had that. Anyway, this is a treasure, and I'm glad I have it. But I'm also really thankful for cross stitch nowadays. So it's a treasure. I'm thankful that I have it and can display it. I recently returned to cross stitch, probably in August or September of last year. I'd done a piece or two over the years, but really my main focus had been on quilting. And my friend Christy at Crosshatch Quilts got me back into cross stitch, and I was enjoying seeing all of the beautiful things that she was stitching on her Instagram account. And one day I contacted her because she had posted a picture and there was the cutest ghost on the wall in her sewing area, and I wanted that pattern. I wanted to stitch that. So there began my journey back into cross stitch, and I had just fallen down the rabbit hole. And I think I could have been quoted years ago as saying, cross stitch, no, that's just not for me. It requires way too much concentration, and I don't enjoy it. So never say never, because here I am just loving cross stitch and just enamored with the beautiful patterns out there and the history behind the patterns. That's something I don't remember from a long time ago. Maybe it was there. That wasn't something I remembered. When I thought cross stitch, I thought patterns like that sunbonnet baby pattern or the kits. that you would get at the craft store. So I'm just thankful to Christy and thankful to all of you out there who have just really inspired me to create some beautiful pieces, and who also get me in a lot of trouble when I go shopping online. So I have quite a few things I can show you, things I finished already in these past months. My whips, which are growing, and those things that I have ordered, or as they say, are on my immediate radar. But I don't want to show it all to you today. Give me something to talk about on my next FlossTube. But I do want to share with you my most recent finish. Is real proud of it. It is a pattern by Plum Street Samplers, and it is Miss Bingley's Library. And I just had the best time stitching this. I love Pride and Prejudice and Jane Austen, and I love to read, and I do have what I consider an excellent library. So this was just a perfect piece that I wanted to make, and actually I started it 3 times before I was happy with what I made. I did this on a 36 count flax linen, I believe, and I actually did this with the DMC that was shown on the pattern, except for, I believe, the blue. I changed the color of the blue. And then before I started stitching the roof, I realized that I would enjoy doing the fancy floss. So I did use the called for swamp water. I believe that was a Weeks Dye Works over dyed. So I did do the roof and the letters down here in that swamp water, and I just really love the variegation and the interest that it gave to this potentially really kind of dull brown roof. So I found this frame at Michael's. It was buy one get 2 free, so I gave one to my daughter, and I have another one tucked away for a future project. And I framed this. I watched a few videos about how to lace, and I bought some mat board months ago, and so I cut the mat board, I put a piece of batting on it, and then I used some really strong like upholstery thread to lace the back, and popped it in my frame, and it's hanging downstairs, and I just absolutely love it. So that is Miss Bingley's Library, and I think in some future videos I'll show you a few of my other finishes that I've done so far. I don't have as many as some of you because I'm just now getting back into this, but with as much time as I'm spending cross-stitching, I should have plenty to show in the months coming up. So now let's take a look at what I'm working on. My very favorite whip right now is a big one. I think I've kind of developed the habit of wanting and buying very large charts to stitch very large pieces. So right after market, which I was so excited that there was such a thing as market, because as a quilter I've always loved quilt market, when all of the fabric designers show their new lines of fabric and the quilts, the new quilt patterns. So I was really excited to know that there was such a thing as a cross stitch market. Very cool. So this is probably the first thing I bought, was Consider the Lilies by Heartstring Samplery, and I just could not wait to start it. I love it so much. This is my focus piece right now. So I bought, probably on 1, 2, 3 stitch, a piece of flax Zweigart linen, and I'm stitching it with the DMC. So they are just beautiful. Every time I look at this laying on my table here, I'm just in love. I love the colors. The DMCs are just beautiful. And I'm loving how they're turning. Look at that. That is gorgeous. I'm loving how they're turning out. So I've been working on this for several months now, and every time I sit down to stitch it, it's just absolutely a joy. So this is my progress on Consider the Lilies. I have the outer green simple border done. I don't have all the flowers done. It is such a big piece. I started way back when. I started up here and I did some of the border and the flowers, and then I think I got maybe this done here. And then I decided that I needed to start on the border and actually see if I could get the border done and make sure it met, and wanted to make sure that I was in the right place. So then I decided I wanted to come down and work down here. So I began and I did the house. And I believe I worked, it's kind of hard to do. From the house, I worked this way and came back this way and finished in here. And then I did this center band that has the letters on it. And then I started working my way up this way until I got to a point where I was stitching this potted plant right here, and I was off. And then I realized this little hedgehog guy here, so cute, tiny, wasn't in the right spot. So then I started worrying that, oh no, I'm going to start and I'm going to move this way across the piece, and then I'm going to get to the other side and I'm going to be off and something's not going to fit. So I did some more of the letters and worked my way down here and worked across the turkey, the tree, came over here, and I decided that I wanted to get the tree and Adam and Eve centered and in the right spot. And then I would feel better about moving around and doing the other parts. So last night I finished this angel. Again, this is my focus piece, and I usually sit here. This is my ironing board where I am. I usually sit here during the day, especially when we were doing school. I could sit here and stitch on it, and every stitch is a joy. So I'm just so thankful that I started this, and can't wait to finish it. Not sure how long it'll take me, but I love it. So Christy at Crosshatch Quilts and I had started this together, and I know a lot of you are stitching along because it's such a beautiful piece. I love seeing everybody's progress on Instagram. Cynthia Brew over at can't think of the name of her channel, but Cynthia started a Sal Stitch Lilies on Sunday. Sal, I believe, is the hashtag, and I've been trying to post some of my progress now there, and it's just so much fun to see how everybody's is turning out. So that's my main whip right now. I have several others. I'm not going to show them all to you today because I thought that would be fun to kind of include some later on. One of my very favorite samplers that I'm working on is one by Chessie and me. It's called Martha Davies 1830 Sampler. And I texted a friend about this because I was like, help me find this sampler. It's got these really pretty colors in the letters. And so we just kept looking around, and finally I found it. I just love the beautiful colors in the letters and that red house. They were just right up my alley. So I purchased this, and this is this picture of this stitched reproduction, but she included in the pattern a picture of the original, the antique, and it's just beautiful. So I'm really loving stitching this. This one I was so excited about that I went ahead, Mostly I'll do DMC because it's a little cheaper. Right now it's a little easier to get a hold of for the most part. But because I loved the colors so much, and that was kind of my main reason for buying this particular chart, I decided to go ahead and buy the called for overdyes. And so these are those overdyes, and they are all classic colorworks. Barn door, this cherry cobbler is beautiful. So I just love these colors. The blue, beautiful. And so I've really enjoyed stitching on this piece and using these beautiful overdyes. And here is my progress. I am stitching this on 36 count Abecedarian by R&R, and again these are the called for classic colorworks overdye threads. There's some over one in this row of lowercase letters, so I tried a few. I'll have to come back to it. Not my favorite, but I think I can do it. So anyway, that's my progress on that, and I'll have to update you on that as I get more done. My stitching and quilting friends and I always talk and laugh about how squirrely we all are. We're happy, contented, stitching, sewing on something, and then we see something new and squirrel, we're off to go pursue the next thing. So the other day, I don't remember if it was on Instagram or where I saw it, but I saw these charts and I fell in love with them. The first one I saw was Ida Mae Crow by the Good Housewife, and I just thought she was adorable with her little dress with the puff sleeves, and I decided I had to stitch this for fall. So I put a request out there on Instagram that I would love to either borrow or buy the pattern from somebody, and a sweet stitcher out there contacted me and said, I have both. I have Ida and, oopsie, Ida and her friend Ira, and I would be happy to loan them to you. And so thank you, Wendy, for sending me these patterns. They are just as cute as can be. So I'm starting with Ida, and I'm going to put them both on the same piece of linen, and not sure if I'll make a frame piece or a pillow, but here's my progress. I loved the, this is on a piece of dark linen. This is an old Weeks linen. The color, well, it's a little hard to see. I think it's darker than it's showing up, but this is Weeks, old Weeks, Cocoa in a 36 count. Just a beautiful color. I think that's more true to what I'm seeing right there if you look at it. But anyway, there's my progress on Ida Mae. I didn't iron. This is my first FlossTube. Maybe next time. Anyway, here's the cute little fence and the bottom of her dress, and I'm really enjoying stitching her. So hopefully I'll get her done and finished before fall so I can have her out with my decorations. So I have lots of patterns that I've bought over the past months, and excited to start on all of them. But on my immediate radar is a beautiful pattern by GGR, and Anne Ariel, I guess you would say, 1841. And I saw this, I believe it's Casey Hewitt from Hewitt Hill Samplers. She actually has the original, and I, again, just fell in love with the colors. I love the altar and the candles and the tabernacle in the middle. That just really caught my attention. So this is a picture of the original, and I just think it's beautiful, and I'm not sure why I haven't started it yet. I have two choices for fabric. It's a big piece, and I really just need to get started because I love it so much. And again, because I really love the colors, I decided to go with the called for over dyes, which took me a little bit to get these all collected from different sources, but I am telling you, are those not just gorgeous? These are all Gentle Arts, really beautiful. Gosh, and why haven't I started this yet? I said I was waiting on the last color and then I was gonna start. And so I got my last color the other day. I think that one, the caramel corn, right here, that was the holdout. So now I don't have an excuse. I need to start. It's beautiful. So that is on my immediate radar to start and add to my growing pile of whips downstairs in my whip basket. So as far as cross stitching goes, I think that's all I have to share today. Like I said, I will show you some more whips and some more finished pieces in another video. I just wanted to give you a little sampling today and make my introduction. And so before you go, I do want to share a little bit of my quilting. As you can see, this is my shelf with the majority of my fabric on it. There's more up there. Actually, there's more down there too. But if you aren't interested in seeing the quilts, then thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a really beautiful and blessed day. And I look forward to talking with you the next time. But if you are interested in seeing a little bit of what I've been working on as far as quilts go, one of my recent projects that I've been working on as far as quilting goes, again, it's kind of like the cross stitch. I have 10 whips, I don't know, and probably 10 more things that I want to make, or more. But I've been working on a paper pieced small quilt that came as a kit from Fig Tree. And it's really been fun because I haven't done paper piecing in a long time, and I've actually forgotten how much I enjoy paper piecing. But Fat Quarter Shop and It's So Emma sell these quilt block foundation papers, and this were the papers for the pineapple block. Really fun. So I've been using those pineapple papers plus fabric from the kit from Fig Tree's most recent line called Catalina to make these beautiful pineapple blocks. And I love the Catalina line. It reminds me of a few of her others that have this beautiful, gosh, I don't know, beachy sea glass kind of blues in it, and the reds. That's one. I'm not going to show them all to you. I have most of them done. I maybe have 4 or 5 left to stitch. Find another one I like. Here's another one. Also has that really pretty navy blue in the fabric line. Anyway, they're just beautiful, and I've really been enjoying it. I enjoyed the paper piecing so much that I ordered the log cabin papers and the economy block papers from Fat Quarter Shop as well. I believe they come in 12-inch as well as 6-inch. I got the 6-inch. I know you can make these blocks, and I've made blocks like this before without paper piecing. But it's just been so much fun to play with the paper piecing that I wanted to try out, especially the log cabin papers, and just use my, I have a lot of cut strips that I sort by color, and it would be great to put together some really scrappy, fun log cabin blocks. And then recently I bought a little tool. Lori Holt has everything vintage, and I just love Lori Holt from Bee in My Bonnet, and I want everything that Lori has. She has some really neat seam rollers. She has some awesome vintage ones, and I think she sells one also from with It's So Emma on Fat Quarter Shop. But I bought this one online on Amazon. Oops. I think it says Violet Craft. I know it's backwards, but I liked the look of this one, and the price on Amazon was good. And so I'm excited to finish up my last few of these blocks and try out this. It says it's really good for paper piecing as opposed to having to use the iron all the time. So until I find a vintage one of my own, this will have to do, but I like it. I like it a lot. Another quilt I've been working on is a churn dash quilt. I love churn dash blocks. I've done a churn dash block of the month. I've done some other ones. It's just one of my favorite blocks. This book from one of my favorite quilters, Sue Fow. I bought this one, and there is a fabulous churn dash quilt that I am making. I had a beautiful fat quarter bundle, and I am making this quilt. I love this quilt because it uses my fat quarter bundle that I had and no background fabric, so really kind of fun and economical. And this is called Cheeky, I think. I've done a quilt. This is by Urban Chicks for Moda. I've done a Swell and a Sweet, were their first two fabric lines. I've done their two Christmas lines so far as well. And this one was called Cheeky, and I bought a fat quarter bundle. And I'm just loving how this is turning out. I love bright colors, vintage feel to the fabrics. So here's one. And here's another. I won't show all of these to you either, but I'll definitely show you the quilt when it's finished. Look at that, so pretty, summery. So I think I've done 12 blocks and maybe have 4 more to go. So I'm hoping to work on that some this week. Thank you for joining me this time. I really thank you for watching. It's actually been fun to film this, so have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.